What's up, people, and welcome to the What Does Cris Think of This version of the Feelings First Facts Later podcast starring the lovely Christina. And I am your host, Nathan Mitchell. And we are just going to get into this monkey hour. And by monkey hour, I mean, this is really going to be we saying shit, but we ain't saying shit hour. Let's go. Now, for those of you who do not remember how this game works, I fire off a couple of topics at Christina. Christina gives me her knee-jerk reaction to what is being said to her, and then we go back and we have a deeper conversation about what was just thrown her way. Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm pointing to the people for those of you who are listening. Yes. All right. All right. Let's get into it. So, first one, fake plastic surgeon is jailed after killing a man on the operation table, getting a penis enlargement. Go.
What? That's not real.
All right, there it is. Harvard physicist, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, and his team have recovered materials from outside of the solar system for the first time ever. Go.
Wait, what?
Okay. Harvard physicist and his team claim to have recovered materials from outside of our solar system for the first time ever. Go.
How do they know that?
All right. Next one. Kids are recreating sex on Roblox. Go.
We need to look into this for real.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is real concern.
Yeah, genuine concern.
Keke Palmer celebrates her birthday with her ex-boyfriend, Darius Jackson, saying that she has him hooked. Go.
It makes me think of what we were saying, that all of that was just a setup, potentially, that whole drama.
There it is. There it is. And last but certainly not least, wife kills husband because he stopped eating her vagina every night. Go.
Justified.
Justified. There it is. There it is. Where do you want to start?
Don't we work our way?
Yeah, I mean, but we can change
mix
rules.
it up.
You know what? You know what? Let's start off with the more serious one. We'll start off with the scientists finding the.
Oh, I was going to say that Roblox one. That's the one more serious one to me.
Why did I not think I was serious? Okay, let's start there.
Children
Let's start there. Okay.
who play that game.
So kids supposedly are recreating sex on Roblox. And what this article focused on was Roblox has a lifestyle game, and a picture depicted a man and a woman lying in a bed together. One image appeared to be something like they were engaged in coitus. Yeah. Yeah.
I need to know for real. Like, we need to.
And then another picture just showed them laying together in bed afterwards. And this is something that children allegedly have access to, according to this particular article. So, and is
That's so fucked up.
Right.
How did we get here?
Well, do you understand how Roblox works?
I mean,
I know you understand that.
Well, I know
kids are addicted to it and they take all your money.
Yes, but also from what my daughter explains to me, there's different games that she plays within Roblox. So I don't even know what that means, which is what you're saying.
Right, right. So the way I understand it is Roblox is a collective of different games that people can play. And these different games, some of them are designed by whoever made Roblox, like whoever the publisher or the creator is. And then other games are created from like people. So it allows people to create their own, like get creative, create their own games and then upload it into Roblox so that children can enjoy. So that's why, and I might be saying this wrong, but that's why you're able to see kids interact with games that are tied into what the current event is, or like whatever is hip.
Yeah.
Like for instance, when what was that show called where all the Asians were killing each other?
That's exactly what I thought of. She was playing that on there.
Not Hunger Games. What was it called? Asian Games?
It wasn't Asian Games, but I know exactly what you're talking about because she was playing it on there.
Hungry Asian Games.
Hungry Asian Games. There you go.
That game. Or that show. So whenever that show.
Squid Games.
Squid Games. There it is.
That? It doesn't sound right.
I think my title sound way better.
But is that what it was?
Yeah, that sounds all right. Squid Game. Squid Game. Squid Game?
Oh, God.
Okay. All right. So when Squid Games came out, they were able to play or simulate like they were doing Squid Game because it allows people to kind of freely create things, or these creators are able to create things. And
what is that game called?
What?
The one where they play pretend fucking on Roblox. Because I need to find out.
Ironically, it's called Squid Game. No, I don't know.
Oh, God.
But it from what I understand of Roblox, it appears that obviously the people who are behind Roblox did not create this game. If this game was created for children to play, maybe just slip through the cracks.
Uploading games, whatever. But it's just like, how is this not monitored or censored or gone through goes through some approval process?
So I would imagine because they're calling it a lifestyle game, it was probably a game that was supposed to simulate
educational
like The
on
Sims.
YouTube.
No, not like the dude that was it nearing his butthole on YouTube and calling it educational. Yeah, that was pretty bizarre. But I'm guessing that they got away with the game. Probably was a game that had all sorts of lifestyle activities that you can do, and one of which was you can possibly lie down in a bed. And so probably what happened is this. It's possible that the game didn't have in its coding to have sex, right? Mm-hmm. The game probably had in the coding where you can put your character on a bed and somehow emote the lying down position, right? So you can lie down in bed. And then with those different emotes, like if they have one to kneel or if they have one to sit, then you have kids, like maybe one kid was lying down and then the other kid
is this what you showed me? And then
sat down.
The thing is, she had like a bow on her thigh.
Something like that. But they also have clothes, because they can remember you weren't little baddie. You were just baddie. You're you're a baddie.
Yeah, don't get it twisted.
There's
a little baddie.
Yeah, there's a little baddie out there. A little baddie is the only little baddie. Don't get it fucked up. No. But so because you're able to change your clothes in a game, it's possible that that particular game wasn't designed for that, and that some kids were just getting creative and getting nasty, and they did something like that.
Jesus
and it might not have even been kids. It could have been adults doing it. And then they put out images and yada, yada, yada. Who the hell knows? Or worst case scenario, the game had it programmed into it where they can automatically have their clothes removed and then they have people in the bed with one another. But if it's a lifestyle game, because I've seen your daughter play and I've seen my son play it, where they have their own house.
Yes.
And they're moving about their own house.
Well, she was playing with these other kids, which she knew them.
Yeah.
And they were all playing at the same time. And then they were pretending to be triplets and going and knocking on people's doors asking to be adopted.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Bring your mic a little closer to you. Yeah.
Oh, God. It's a full-time job monitoring this shit.
Yeah.
Throw it all away.
Yeah. All right. So the next serious one, but not so serious one that I thought was a little bit more serious is the one with the Harvard physicist that claims to have recovered the materials from outside of the solar system for the very first time. So these materials that they collected are metallic sphere-like materials that they found
in the ocean. Oh, I saw this
outside of Papua New Guinea.
Yes.
But they found it back in 2014, and they're just now talking about it almost a decade later.
And they look like these iridescent little balls.
Correct. Correct. So right now they're trying to figure out
where it came from.
Or
what they're made out of.
So more importantly, what they're made out of, because it's not made by any elements that we are aware of on our periodic table of elements and all that stuff. And I guess after they figure out where the materials came from, they're trying to figure out if this is something that was created by, I guess, layperson's term would be man-made, but whatever the hell that being is. So if it was created by a, I guess, sentient being, or if it was just naturally formed that way and it ended up here just in a perfect sphere and landed in our ocean, right? Which I guess both things could be possible, right?
Right.
So I'm sure things can form a perfect circle somehow by way of traveling through different solar systems. I'm not sure if it's a different, completely different galaxy, but if it's traveling through a different solar system, maybe through whatever, I don't know, words that I don't know or understand.
I saw that. That sounds pretty cool.
But I want to ask you, do you believe in this whole alien thing? Because as of recent, it's been a big push for UFOs or UAPs, what they now call it.
Yeah.
Alien, extraterrestrial life. And then the whole leaks that have been happening, like the most recent leak with the person.
What was it that supposedly was confirmed by the government or something? What was it a few weeks ago or a couple months ago that people were like, oh, that they're admitting that?
So it was a whistleblower.
Okay.
And he came out and...
Is that what it was?
Okay. And he stated that he has been working around...
Haven't we done this before?
Or
many times?
They have seen materials that are non-human, what do you want to call it? Like bodies and things like that, which is very vague because that could be anything. It's just saying non-human. So I think we're assuming that it's from another planet, but it could also be anything. And from what I understand, and I don't understand it in full detail, but this whistleblower that came out had an attorney with him. So everything that he was saying was within his like legal parameters for the things that he can and cannot say because he had a clearance, given him by the U.S. government.
Okay.
So everything that he was saying was things that were allowed to be said without really showing or discussing anything that would back that up, anything that would get him in legal trouble, like real trouble.
Okay.
Now, it obviously has ruined his career, right? Because those two things don't have to line up, right? There might be things that you can say and you could do that doesn't get you in legal trouble, but you still, but will ruin your name and your career. But and just like in classic form, which it could be true, it might not be true. Who the hell knows? But they have been, and by they, the government has been trying to, or whoever the powers that be, have been trying to, I guess, smear his name, ruin his name, in order to, make him seem like crazy, little bit less of a credible source, right? But I'm not 100% sure if it is the government or if it's private institutions. I haven't really looked too much into it.
Do people even care?
And I think those lines are so blurred because I don't even know. Yeah. Because even if it's a private institution but it's receiving government funding, isn't that kind of like government without government kind of deal? So it's like it's really, really flimsy. But yes, to what your question was, is that we have been getting more and more of these reports from what appears to be credible sources. Before, we were always getting it from the loony farmer.
Didn't
or
you have me
whatever
listen?
It may be.
When we first started talking, I think we were still on the app at this point. Didn't you have me listen to something? There was a man who was, what the hell was I listening to? And I'm pretty sure we were having this conversation early on because that's one of the things that I said on my Hinge profile.
Yeah, which sounds really crazy because it's like that was a real crapshoot. Like either this is gonna wetten you up, or you are never gonna talk to me again because I'm crazy.
Do you know? Like, do you remember what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. I wish. Only because
it was some podcast, which was already hard enough for me to listen to because I don't listen to podcasts. Ironically, because I can't stand people talk in my ear. But it was about this man who worked for the government and was just pretty much talking about how he used to work with aliens.
Probably Bob Lazar.
Yes.
Probably something that had to do with Bob. Yeah, that sounds close to like Bob Lazar.
Yeah.
I don't, he wasn't really working with aliens.
Maybe I'm not saying exactly what it was.
Yes,
but yes.
That's a good way to paraphrase it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was probably some sort of Bob Lazar thing.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So are you on board with all this, or are you on the fence?
On board?
Okay, so I guess, do you believe in aliens?
Yeah, I do.
So you believe that they
Yeah.
exist? Do you believe that they have contacted us? And
I think so.
okay,
Yeah.
and do
I
you?
think the government knows about it. I think they're like,
hiding.
yeah,
They're hiding it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I do.
yeah. I think. Now I've seen good arguments on both sides. I've seen a solid argument as to why we're not alone in this universe,
Mhm.
which selflessly would make a lot of sense. But I've seen a great argument as to why we could be the only thing in this universe,
Mhm.
right? And they highlighted, and this was a scientist,
Mhm.
right? I don't know what kind. I'm just gonna say scientist, like therapist. Hey, therapist. Hey, scientist. But this gentleman was highlighting all the special circumstances that led us to where we are, right? Like just our magnetic, the magnetic field that we have, the distance we are away from the sun, the planets like Jupiter that we have that have basically been taking all the bullets for us, so that we haven't received as many asteroidal impacts that would basically reset shit or even fuck us up to the point where we're now dried up, like let's say Mars.
Mhm.
So it's just they started naming all these things,
Like the miracle that it is.
the miracle that it is.
Mhm.
And then when he put it in an equation, and I wish I was smart enough to do this equation, or smart enough to have written it down,
like to give it odds,
regurgitate it, right? And the odds were so small that it would make sense, because the way he broke it down was you had to multiply all of those odds and all the events that had to have taken place in order for us to be where we are today.
That makes it more logical
Right.
of an argument, but not nearly as fun.
It's certainly not. It's
You
certainly
know what
not.
I mean? So it's like womp womp.
Right.
Like nobody wants to hear
Right.
that.
Now, I want to say this gentleman was a theist as well. And not to say that you can't have both, because I do think there is a world where you can have both, where you could be a theist and then also believe in extraterrestrials and yada yada yada, so. And whatever that may be. But the way he broke it down kind of made me go, okay, I can see an argument where it's possible that we are the only ones.
Well, explain to me the dinosaurs then. What's his equation for that?
about the dinosaurs? Yeah. Well, that's all a part of our evolution, or however. Yeah. Or maybe they were never there. Who the hell knows? You know what I'm saying? But I want to believe that we are not alone, because it just makes sense. But then it's also, it takes away from us being as special as we are. So
I don't think so.
Maybe okay.
It doesn't have to be the same.
True.
What, like he's breaking down our circumstances. But just to say there's circumstances we don't even understand.
Well, and again, and just be clear, he's not saying that there's no other life. He's talking about like a sentient being like us, self-aware, can, manipulate their environment, have the ability to travel and do all these things. So he's referring to that, not if there's some sort of bacteria or whatever.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because an argument,
like aliens, how people think of them.
Correct. Right. With the eyes and the obsession about going up asses, and, trying to discover secrets about you, all that good stuff. Yeah. And then he actually kind of attacked, and he said this with, I'm not trying to throw any ad hominems out there, but he was attacking the characters of people that claim to have encountered aliens, and how all their stories are kind of rooted in some sort of sexual activity. It's late at night, you're in your bed, and now you're falling asleep, and then you're being lifted up by this thing, and then there's some sort of anal probing, and then they bring you back. So, and then it's just ironic that it's always males.
It's fucked up.
So it's it's kind of yeah. So yeah, I want to believe that we're not the only ones out there, but the one argument that people keep on making that I completely disagree with is this one. They keep saying, if the government knows about it. With the government being so bad at keeping secrets, wouldn't someone have told by now, or wouldn't an organization have told by now, or would have slipped out? And every time I hear that, it makes me think of how naive people are in understanding how to properly manipulate somebody, right? First of all, I don't think the government is horrible at keeping secrets.
I don't
think
so.
they're
We know
phenomenal.
What they're okay with
right.
us knowing.
I think we're phenomenal at keeping secrets.
Yeah.
Right. Which is why we have this need to know thing. Like, even when you have a secret clearance, top secret clearance, or whatever other clearance, the levels that are above that, even within that, things are still need to know. So the people that need to know are the ones that know things. So they're pretty good at making sure that the people that hear about the things that they don't want other people to know don't leak that out. Right. They've done a good job at vetting people out.
Right.
And then they've also done a good job at making you think that they're terrible at keeping secrets, which is the first thing a liar would do. Right. The first thing a liar would do is to make you believe that he's terrible or she is terrible at lying. Right. That's a part of the tactic. Right. Right. And then if something does leak, which, by the way, these people talking about this shit, is it leaking? Right. Or possible that it's leaking? It doesn't necessarily, like, we assume that just because someone is saying something, then they're lying or they're crazy or they're making something up, that there would have been more people to step out. Probably not.
No, considering the consequences.
Right. People don't group together to release information. And even if they did as a group.
That's going to potentially ruin their lives, especially.
Or the lives of the people around them.
Correct.
Right. Because we don't know how deep they will go.
Right.
In terms of making sure that they maintain these secrets. But getting people to group together for even a small stance is hard to do. I remember when I tried to get people at work to stand up against changing the color of the scrubs that we all already had. And now we are forced to change the color. People couldn't even take a stance on that. And that's wearing a color. Can you imagine trying to get people to take a stance on releasing like super, super secret information?
Right.
Good luck with that shit. So I say all that to say, it's quite possible that these people are the people that are being the whistleblowers, letting the water spill out, or can't hold water, right? Letting the water spill out. And they're saying it, but then the media and the government or whoever it may be, or even just people in general, we're doing a good job at discrediting them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because as people, we don't want to believe shit anyway. Because believing things require, like, there's a lot of steps to believing something. Like, people just think, oh, well, if they say something, then I got to believe it. I got to take it for what it is. And that's that. No, it's deeper than that, because then now you have to question everything.
Right.
If you're going to believe what this person is saying, that they have, or that they, I don't know if he said that he's seen it or he knows that the government has biological material that is non-human or whatever the hell he said. If he is saying that, then that means that you now have to question a lot of other things that you believe can be true.
Right.
So even with that, like, even if it's something as simple as, well, I guess it's not as simple as, but statements that we hear, like a Dr. Sebi, right? Someone that has talked about finding or knowing of a cure for cancer, and that people have come to him and have been cured of cancer
that he cured
naturally, as opposed to poisoning the body with chemotherapy and things like that.
And he's one of many who have made those claims.
Correct. But I've watched him being treated like he's a mad scientist, or he's talking about pseudoscience, and it's just all hogwash, and he's trying to ruin people's lives and things like that. Because if you believe him, right, then that means that you have to believe that your country knows this and doesn't want you to partake in these things, because it will shorten their profit margins, or their, whatever money that they can make off of you being sick and being medicated by big pharma and chemotherapy and all the stuff that comes with that, nurses and yada yada yada. versus a leaf with fasting and, you know, the things that Dr. Sebi had, right? So there's someone out there that can say something that could potentially be truth and helpful to people, but it's easier for you to deny that,
right?
Because of all the other things that you have to believe with it,
right?
Right. So circling back to the alien thing, I think that what we could be seeing here are people making attempts to come out and speak out about it, but we're so conditioned to, we don't, first of all, we don't have time for it. Life is too stressful right now. People are going through so much shit. Mental health is in the toilet. We don't even know, you know, nothing about nothing. We can't even agree on anything. The last thing we need is to absorb this shit. So we're not even ready for it.
No.
Right. But
well, it made all this whole conversation, everything, what keeps coming to my mind is COVID. Like this whole conversation about people, getting people to all be on the same page about something. And then if you start to question it, then if you question that, you have to question everything.
You have to question everything.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. You still have people that wear masks.
Right.
Not even N95 masks. People that wear surgical masks.
Right. A lot of people.
A lot of people.
Right.
A lot of people are still doing it. I still see people driving with their masks on.
Same. Yeah.
And I can understand why they're doing it. It's because they have a fear of this thing, this invisible thing that might kill them. So I get that part.
Yeah.
But you know, but then if you look deeper into it, it's because they trusted the government and they trusted the CDC guidelines, and they think that if they do this, then this won't happen to them.
Right.
And they also believe that anyone that isn't doing it is being reckless and putting their life at risk.
Right.
So there's a lot to do it. And if you believe, and if you take the mask off, then now you have to admit defeat, right? And you have to admit that you were wrong about leaning so deep into what they've told you and acting on it and turning your nose at everybody else, right? And then you have to believe that it's possible that they've lied to you about this. What else have they lied to you about?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's stressful.
Right? Or not even lied. Lied might be an extreme word, but they misinformed you about this. What else have they misinformed you about? Kind of thing.
Right. People don't want to go there.
And that's just to take the heat off that it was done intentionally.
Right.
Because that's, I don't know. So I don't want to spread any anecdote.
Right.
And I don't want anything to get removed, right? Because we said the C word. But circling back to the alien thing, I think that it is possible that the government would be great at holding secrets. And I do think that they do have secrets. And I do think that it is possible that they know about, and at least one of the governments, if it's not ours and it's somebody else, right? That they do know of an extraterrestrial or, you know, whatever you want to call it, that's a humanoid type of life that, or whatever we know it as, right? Whatever, you know, it might be beep, boop, bop, dop. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if it's made contact here, we do know about it, and we're holding that for a lot of reasons.
Right.
Right. And I think it's to our benefit that we kind of hold on to that.
Yeah. For
as long as possible. And then the next thing I hear is, well, why aren't other countries talking about this? They don't have the fucking freedom to talk like we talk.
Right.
People
forget
they
that
will get their heads cut off.
Like
they're still doing that.
In front of everyone.
They are still doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We assume that everyone else has voices like we have, that even that can formulate opinions, talk about things, yada, yada, yada. If someone from another country said the government's lying to us,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
They would be made an example of real quick. So you don't say shit.
Don't say shit like that.
Don't say shit. No, it wasn't an alien. I was just, it was just some lights. I'm going to mind my own business because life is already hard enough. I don't want these problems.
Right.
You know?
This reminds me of, I think I told you this before. I don't think I said it on here though. I knew a woman, or I know a woman, who her grandfather worked for the government, some sort of secret that no one really knew what he did.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she had some strange encounter as a child. And then fast forward, and she showed me this paper. She did like a Ancestry or 23andMe thing and sent in her sample. Her and her husband. His came back and hers took forever. And then she got this letter in the mail and it said, something came up. You're like, these few people we've had this happen to, like where they found something that it's not from here. And they're like, is it okay? Like if we continue, like they wanted her to do something else. I don't know if she ever did, but yeah.
Did it involve anal probing?
I don't know. I don't know what ended up happening. But yeah, it was really strange. Like, yeah.
I can't wait for aliens to come down and someone tries to get anal probed and they're like, ew. Like, you shit from there. Yeah. No. What? Come here. And they just do some ill shit. Like they just like look you in the eye and then it just extracts all the information from your eyeballs.
Right,
which would make more sense.
Yeah,
like just looking sense. And then it's just like airdropped.
Yeah.
Right into their brain.
Yeah.
Not going up your asshole, which is not okay.
No.
Right? Yeah. Any other orifices? Well, like even the ear will make more sense because that leads to the brain, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
Over your butthole, I think.
I think so. Right. But which one's more fun?
Yeah.
You know?
Yikes.
That's the thing.
I guess it depends who you're asking. I don't know. Depends what you're into.
There it is. Okay. So let's get to the next one. So a fake plastic surgeon has been given a 5-year prison term, which is really
what
generous.
What country did this happen
This is Germany. This is Germany.
First of
After killing a man during an unauthorized penis enlargement surgery. The fake surgeon used silicone oil injections for a procedure he advertised as girth enhancing. The patient, who was a 32-year-old man, suffered for 7 months and died due to multiple organ failure and sepsis. Now, the article read that he died on the operation table, which I'm guessing just it's clickbaity. Maybe he died inside. Maybe that's what happened.
Died inside.
Like
inside of what?
Like he's dead inside. Like he died. You cut my dick off, I'm dead.
Oh, I see.
From that day moving forward.
This sounds like basement BBLs. The equivalent for men.
Yeah.
That's sad.
I blame women. I blame women.
You blame women.
I blame women.
Why?
Because a lot of pressure is put on the size of the tool.
Oh, well.
By women.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
We have pressure all over the fucking place.
Where's your pressure?
All the time.
Where's your pressure?
Everywhere. From all angles.
Okay, so I want you to compare apples to apples here, right? So we know that a small penis can halt sex. You could potentially get made fun of, laughed at the very, very least. A small penis can make sex not happen. Everything can be good up until that point, and then you whip out a little thing, and it ain't happening.
I know quite a few women who have worked with those tiny things too. So what are you talking about? If you get laughed at, it's behind your back. So what do you care?
No. I know that some women follow through on these men.
I've heard more follow through than not.
But what I'm saying is that has the potential to stop sex, because I do know people who have like, what am I going to do with that, and has stopped it. And but they've done it in a nice way, right? Not like laugh, but it's like, I'm actually tired. I don't want to do with this kind of thing. What on a woman will completely stop sex from a guy?
It's not fair, because that wasn't the initial thing that we started talking about, the pressure.
The pressure.
Yeah, but you're talking about sex in particular. I'm talking about the pressure that women have just by existing. How we have to, so many things we have pressure about. That meant with your dick.
I think the closest thing that women can say, like, that would, okay, so small dick, small tits. You're not going to stop because of small tits.
This argument is dumb.
Why? Because I'm winning?
No, because I wasn't talking about just sex.
The pressure.
You're like, what the pressure? I'm like, we have pressure for what? You have pressure about sex. That's all you have pressure about.
So
your whole life.
So let's circle back to pressure.
Okay.
Right? Let's circle back to pressure. you can't do anything really about a small dick. Everything that women potentially get pressure for can be fixed. Everything.
Which kind of also sucks because then you're expected to fix that, hence the pressure.
I think that you're not expected to fix it.
I don't think so.
I only say that because, okay, if you have a flat ass, no one's expecting you to get a BBL. No one's. If you do fix it, it could be fixed with diet and exercise, maybe, right? But no one's expecting you to get any sort of plastic surgery, right?
Okay.
Most of the guys that I know don't even like fake tits. They'll rather take small tits than fake tits, right?
Okay.
So you really don't have to fix that. If your personality is shitty, you can't really fix that. You can try to fix it, right? But that might be a deal breaker. But for
a shitty personality?
A shitty personality.
Men care about that as a whole?
Long term.
Okay.
Yeah. If someone's shitty, if you're just not agreeable and you're hard to deal with, yada yada yada, we don't want to deal with that. Huh? I'm
not agreeable and I'm hard to deal with.
Well, you also have.
But I have nice tits.
My daughter, so there's that.
Oh.
I mean, if we want to talk about where's the glue?
Wow. That's good to know.
Yeah.
It's on air for everyone to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, but the pressure for the penis size, you can't change that. Can't change that.
I don't feel sorry for men.
Okay.
Or that guy.
You know what I wish would happen? I wish there would be more talks for both males and females. But I think this would benefit females more than it would benefit males. But it can also benefit males in a good way because it can just change your outlook on your penis size and what you're able to do with what you have, right? But I wish there was more, not to say that there's no talk, because there is talk about it, because you and I, we go down these rabbit holes all the time and we research, and you're a woman, so you understand your body and what you like and how your body works, right? But I wish there was more talks for the average guy to see that focused on the hypersensitive areas in the vagina and where it is located, right? And if that information was more readily available and people receive more education on that, then males with a smaller penis, like a 3-inch, 4-inch penis, right, would understand that what they have is good enough to hit all of those hypersensitive points inside of a woman.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That you don't need a 7, 8, 9-incher in order to fully satisfy a woman. Now, I know that what satisfies someone is going to be different for every person, right? I know that there are probably some women out there that want to get hit deep and, feel it and all the sorts of their stomach or whatever. but I'm sure that there are going to be other women that would really prefer more clitoris play, more play in, what would be called the G spot. But, that the first, 2 to 3 inches, the interior portion of the inside the vagina,
yes.
Right? Am I saying that right? Okay. So I'm sure that there'll be more people that would be, or there would be a good amount of women that would be more focused on having pleasure there. And with that information being out there, then guys would feel less inadequate if they had what would be considered a smaller penis, which would take away some of the pressure for guys, right? And B, maybe put women in a position where males are focusing, or even females, but I don't think lesbians really have this problem. I think it's more of a heterosexual relationship.
What
problem? Women achieving orgasm.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere that, and I wish I had it on me, but I read somewhere that in a heterosexual sexual interaction, 30% of women achieve orgasm during their first sexual interaction with one another, while 95% of males achieve orgasm during their first sexual interaction with one another, right? But in female to female sexual interactions, it's like 90% of women achieve orgasm during their first sexual interaction.
Yeah.
And I think
I could see that.
a lot of that has to do with males not really understanding where those really hot, sensitive, hypersensitive zones are.
And also, we are talkers. Women are talkers.
Mm-hmm.
So with another woman, you're probably way more comfortable saying things
Mm-hmm.
to another woman because she's probably way more acceptable or accepting of what you have to say.
Probably because she
have
understands
the same equipment,
right?
And
She
all
understands,
the things.
right? She understands.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah.
I need it done in this specific spot.
Right.
This is where I want it done. Yada yada yada.
Right.
And okay, fine.
Right.
It's not, there's not going to be any ego involved.
Yeah.
With that, and I think it
and
helps
you're just
that
more
they
comfortable.
understand.
Yeah, exactly. I would think
each
you're
other's
more
anatomy.
exactly right. Yeah.
Right.
So there's probably a lot more to it than just the physical.
100%.
You know what
100%.
I mean? As far as women's
in the article
together.
definitely stated that there is a lot more mental foreplay, a lot more intimacy going on with two females that you wouldn't see with a heterosexual, just because of the build of the person. That's typically not something you would see, especially with the first, because this was talking about the first encounter with a partner, right? You might start seeing more of that intimacy unfold later on, deeper into the relationship, but more than likely not on the first one, right? So there's that. But the point I was trying to make is that for the guys out there with the smaller anatomy, right? If they understood, or just any guy, but specifically for them, for purposes of feeling a little bit more confident with what they have, if they understood the female anatomy a little bit better, then they would be less concerned about their size and be more confident with what they have, right? Because even if you had a small tool and a woman was like, "Hey, what am I going to do with that?" And then he said, "Just hold on, I'll show you." Right?
Right.
That alone might be like, "Oh, okay,
okay.
all right. Well, what's this nigga going to show me? All right, maybe there's something I'm missing."
Right.
And then did everything right. Then it's no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if what are you going to do with that? Well, I was hoping. Then I was like, yes, go home. Go hard or go home. Or he went hard. Not hard enough. All right. So Keke Palmer celebrates her birthday with ex-boyfriend Darius and says that she's got him hooked. So yes, I read this and I felt the same way you felt. I think this was all planned.
It seemed that.
I think that all of this shit was planned. I was on board in the beginning when Keke Palmer was gone, or she went viral for what she wore at the Usher performance, and then how her man reacted. I was on board with him leaving her, thinking that this was, a solid interaction, because even if they didn't want to be together, like they almost kind of can't be together now just for the sake of him, because if you're going to stay in this relationship, you can't say shit now.
Ever.
You can't say shit ever. Like you're that guy now because you did this.
Yeah.
You responded this way. But where I see what this is, alert went off was when Usher shortly came out with that song starring Keke Palmer in the video. And the song was talking about your man, something along like your man's wondering where you are, you're with me, and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, okay, this is a fucking rollout. This is a rollout for Keke to get her back in the limelight, I'm guessing, after her hiatus with.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And then also this, with the whole writer-actor strike going on, this would be the perfect opportunity to be in the spotlight somehow without it being a performance that you were like a job, right?
I see.
Because if you go viral for something that your man said, like that's, I'm not doing any interviews or anything like that. He's just acting up. And now everyone's talking about me, right? But also this was a good rollout, or a good way to help boost Usher. because shortly after that Keke Palmer thing, where I'm seeing people going to the Vegas shows and posting on Instagram and yada, yada, yada. It was like his Vegas show was, and it was a big thing before, but it was almost like a bigger thing afterwards. And then I started getting videos on YouTube suggesting, Usher and then he has an album coming out, clearly.
Yeah.
So with all that, and then now here you are back with him cheesing, for the gram, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. I don't think that they ever left. I think that this was like a industry thing that was orchestrated in order to make business moves, because this is how business moves now, right? An artist dropping an album isn't enough.
Right.
You need some sort of slander. You need some sort of
where's the sensation?
Yeah. You need all that with it, because you have to get more creative with the rollout. No one's watching commercials. Right. No one. So how can we
drama?
Right. How can we get you in? How can we go viral? How can we clickbait? Right. Keke is, showing out for Usher. She's acting up. What do you all think of this? And now it creates this polarizing response. Oh, she was foul for doing this. Da da da. No, she was right. She was trying to look, be her. Da da da. And that nigga was acting up. Blah blah blah. And now it's got people talking, debating, and then boom. Now we got a.
Now you're in the video.
Usher and Keke. Ooh, let's all hear it. And now everyone's rushing to hear what they're doing together, what they're talking about.
Right.
Same with and I don't want to lump this into the same thing, but it's the same feeling I had about the whole Jamie Foxx thing, and how
this is
it just
exactly what it sounds like.
And it could have all been serendipitous, right? He looks like he's not as healthy as he was before, so I don't. So it really appears,
but they
that
didn't miss the opportunity to.
Right. So even if he really did get sick or whatever took place with him, no opportunities missed. And what better way than have him say nothing? So you don't even have to do anything. Get better, spend time, say nothing.
Yeah.
But we're going to use this in order to pump your name up, because we have all these things that are attached to you, because you're very, very, very talented. People want to see you, but we need the people want to see you. We need the people to want to see you win, so we can really drive this thing home. And so I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Well, yeah, all of that.
Just,
I mean,
just let it roll. Just let it ride. A ditto, copy, and paste.
You said it all for me.
Clearly, I'm a little bit more passionate about it than you are. So.
Clearly. I guess I'm just tired of talking about Keke Palmer.
Fair enough. All right. So I saved the best for last. And at least this is the one that I think is the best one. And this is: the wife kills her husband because he stopped eating her vagina every night.
Where did this happen?
So it says she's from Maryland. And she commented, "Before we got married, I used to get my vagina ate every night. But then he started acting brand new. He knows I love my pussy ate before we make love. It's all his fault," said a 38-year-old Maryland native, T. Smith.
That's not real. For real?
You don't think?
How'd she kill him?
We can Google it. You can Google it. I believe that this is real.
I believe that this is real.
And I say that because why wouldn't it be?
Why wouldn't it be?
People
That's crazy.
Have killed people for
less.
Now, my mother always told me, in a relationship, don't start something you don't plan on following through on, right? So if you make it a habit to go down on her every night before you all make love, and now you stop, I think I can see a world where all hell will break loose because this is what you've been doing. So now what are you doing? Now who are you eating? You know what I'm saying?
I'm having a hard time finding something credible here.
Look up Tasha Smith. That was her name.
That also sounds made up.
Why? Because it sounds very black. She's a black woman. Yeah, it's a black woman.
Well, the way you were speaking Sounded crazy. Okay, there's a YouTube video.
They're going to show the killing?
Not the killing, but her mugshot. The killing, like it was recorded.
Yeah.
She recorded. Hold on.
Yeah.
Is this real? There was a mugshot.
Okay.
It says, wife kills man because he stopped eating her vagina. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, see?
She looks crazy.
Yeah, of course she looks crazy. She's crazy.
Okay. But it's just the quote. I want to know what happened.
I think she confessed what happened. That nigga stopped. She didn't like it. She took his life. The end.
The end.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I mean,
because whose pussy you eating now? Who you getting full off on now? I know you like it.
Or maybe he had a little dick, to your point. And then she's like, what am I supposed to do now?
Damn. Damn.
Right?
Isn't that crazy that you assume that the guy that eats pussy every night has a little dick?
It's because of what you were saying earlier.
Oh.
That's what. What is happening?
I got beef with you.
Why? No, I was saying.
I know what you're saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
I'm talking about what you were saying earlier.
Oh, now you do callbacks. This is something new. Episode 101, and now you're doing a callback. And ironically, you're doing it on a callback for something that touches close to home, huh?
What?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with you.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what were you talking about off camera?
What were you talking about off camera?
Remember on the couch?
What?
You said something was going to get personal, but it didn't have to.
The alien thing.
Oh. How was that going to get personal?
I said it wasn't going to get personal. I said it was going to get serious.
Could.
No.
You said something could be personal.
I said this verbatim. I said there is one topic in there that could get serious.
Okay.
But it's not going to be intimate. Like it's not going to have you giving up any personal information, but it's still going to be fun, but it might be more towards the serious side.
Okay.
That's exactly what I said.
Okay.
End quote. I said nothing about it being personal. If anything, I said it would be the opposite of that, but it would be serious or it could get serious.
Okay. Maybe I took intimate as personal.
But I said it won't get intimate. So if you took it as, so if you, ma'am, I don't think you listen to me. I think this is now day 2 of you not listening to me.
Day 2. That's it?
No, well, day 2 in a row. In a row. Yeah. I think you're tired of hearing my voice. I think that's what it is.
No, that's not true.
I love how you switched the subject about the couch. It's really, really smooth of you. Real smooth criminal of you.
I wasn't saying anything about anything other than the article.
Tasha Smith.
Right.
And Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
Formerly known as Mr. Smith. Do you think they were married? Probably not.
Didn't it say, or was that you quoting your mother?
Her husband?
No. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They were married.
Yeah, okay.
Ugh, racist. You assumed that they weren't married because they were blacks.
That was you.
Okay. Maybe it was me. It was me, but I felt your energy. Like it was you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. But valid or not valid? Do you think they might have talked about it first? Or do you think she just went straight for the jugular?
Rage.
Yeah, full rage.
Yeah, probably not. It probably wasn't she probably was cussing him out. That was her way of talking about it.
Died from being cussed out?
That's not a thing.
I think it's a thing. You could be so scared you have a heart attack.
That's like a mouse.
A mouse?
Yeah, they say that.
If you yell at a mouse,
yeah, like
die?
you scream.
Ah.
A mouse dies.
Really?
Not just a mouse.
Wait. Now, I got murdered earlier for saying fucking quotes. What'd you call me? Mr. Quote Man? And now here you are saying that if you scream, a mouse dies? No, but
that's like a real thing.
What?
Like not a mouse somewhere. Like if you're in a room with a mouse and you scream, you'll kill it.
Is this like if you eat a booger, an angel gets his wings or some shit like that? What happens when the angel gets her wings?
What was the dumb shit you were saying earlier? You said because if you yawn a lot, you're pregnant. That's not a real thing.
Did you Google it?
I've never heard that before.
Okay.
And then you said something about somebody's son's baby mama's pregnant. What's the other quote?
Okay. Keep on fucking with me. Keep on making me look like an idiot on air. We're going to cut all this shit. I'm throw this whole episode away. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Feelings First Facts Later podcast. Today, we're going to be doing What Does Cris Think of This? Shut up. I'm going to cut your mic off.
Let the people, show the people how you really speak to me.
I'm going to cut your mic off.
Oh, this is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what happens when I'm really tired.
I know. You're very exhausted. I'm very exhausted too. And it's time to edit this podcast and release it.
Oh, man.
Thank you for rocking with us. Peace.